So, welcome to Why Go to the Gym Anyway? And today we're going to talk about that. And we have Batista Garmon, the world class bodybuilding, body sculptor lady who's looking every day 15 years younger. And why wouldn't you want to do that for yourself? Be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this is your host, Tyson Bannigan, the energy detective, helping you manage your body energy field to take back your power and stand in your truth no matter what. So, this is going to be an exciting opportunity to learn about why go to the gym anyway. So, Batista, take it away.
Hi Tyson, hi everybody. Why go to the gym anyways? Well, to this question, I will answer with another question. Can you imagine a pain-free life? And if you could, and we could give you some answers of how to do that, then would you actually want to go to the gym to be pain-free? So today, that's what we're going to talk about. We have some exciting and very profound information to reveal to you. It's kind of quite simple, though, you'll see. But today, we're going to learn the secrets to looking and feeling 15 years younger, getting 20% to 50% stronger, and potentially achieving a pain-free life. So stay tuned until the end of the webinar because it's going to be loaded with information and you don't want to miss it. So let's talk about pain a little bit because a lot of people suffer from pain, all types of chronic pain. As a matter of fact, 80% North Americans suffer from back pain. Did you know that it is actually the number one cause of missed work and missed income is back pain? And then, of course, there is osteoporosis. That's a huge one. 1 in 3 women, 1 in 5 men will suffer from osteoporosis. And it's terrible because it's actually called the silent disease because you will actually never know that you have it until it's too late, until you break a bone. And once you do that, then there is a 16% risk of premature death. So very, very big deal. And then, of course, we already know about the obesity problem. And you can't be obese and possibly be pain-free. I mean, it's so hard to move and to do anything when you carry that extra weight on your body. And without talking about all the types of diseases that set in once you're obese. And did you know that 1 in 10 deaths worldwide are caused by lack of exercise? So when you look at these few statistics, you know that we are in really deep problem. And what happens when we suffer so much pain and we're living like this, then we have depression, we short temper, we have irritability, we seek isolation, we're feeling hopeless. And then, of course, we lose our job, our income is in jeopardy, and we can't do the things we enjoy. So the quality of life is really tremendously diminished. Can you relate to that at all, Tyson?
Oh, absolutely. The thing that comes to my mind is this loss of income. It's not just on the personal income, but, on in the production, in North America or, Canada, United States, the loss of income or the loss of generating, because of the loss of employees off because of back pain must be huge. So the drain on the economy and also the health costs of this must be astronomical. So this program is really something that I would think would be good to be sponsored by corporations, that they actually encourage and incentivize why their employees should be going to the gym and learning how to do structural adjustment, because they'll have less sick leave and the cost overall will go down. They'll have more happy and even-tempered employees. So that was my take on it. So it's not just a personal agenda, it's a societal agenda.
Absolutely. I actually was in terrible pain my entire life. I was a flamenco dancer. I had a very fulfilling career worldwide. And I started dancing when I was 3 years old. By the time I reached my late 40s, my career was like skyrocketed off the roof, but my body was falling apart and I had a lot of injuries. I actually had chronic back pain for 30 years caused by some car accidents that I had in my mid 20s. And then dancing all these years, I had a frozen shoulder, I had knee pain, Achilles, back, neck. I mean, I was in constant pain like all the time, and I was really feeling like my back was against the wall, and there was no solution, and I was also gaining weight. So for a dancer, that's not very pleasant. You got to fit in your costumes. So it was a really, really hard time in my life. I was on diets all the time, and I had been on diets my whole life, being a dancer, but the diets didn't work anymore. So I was continuously gaining weight and chronic pain, and I had tried everything from every modality that exists, name it, I did it. Chiropractor, acupuncture, massages, energy healing, all kinds of stretches, and you name it, and I was against the wall. But my background is also in metaphysical science and spirituality, and I knew that I had the power to do something, to manifest something that would change that for myself. And out of nowhere, I met Dr. Fitness USA, and that really changed my my life. Actually, when we met, he told me that he was an international body designer, and I had prayed for the answers to my problems. And so when he said that, I kind of like knew that it was like a godsend. It was the answers to my prayers. And so even though his conversation was very different than anything that I had heard before, I was very intrigued, okay, because he talked to me about male-female energies and never doing anything that's uncomfortable. And, the program that he was teaching was based on strength training, weightlifting. And to me, that was very scary because I had a lot of injuries and I was a dancer. So I didn't want to hurt myself more, right? And and I had worked with personal trainers. I had belonged to a gym. It didn't work for me. So I was very, very afraid of lifting. I mean, you're talking to somebody who couldn't lift a pound of anything, like groceries or anything. Everything was hurting. So that was a really, really scary step. But and besides, I didn't understand never doing anything that is uncomfortable associated with lifting weight, because lifting weight to me sounded pretty difficult. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it can be a bit scary, while you're thinking of muscle-bound people, and certainly for a woman, you don't want to be looking like a muscle-bound woman, right?
Exactly. As a matter of fact, as a dancer, I had that misconception, like the big muscles and everything. But I learned over the last 10 years that it is really a false belief system. And what I've come to realize is these false belief systems that we operate from really are what keep us stuck in our parking spot. And we need to really have an open mind to learn and to be willing to grow. And that's what I did. And miraculously, after a couple of weeks, my backache was entirely gone. It changed my whole life. It gave me my body back. And that was the beginning of this transformation. I spent the last 10 years writing, researching, and also creating now the online mentoring system that we offer worldwide, which is a great accomplishment, something I'm very, very proud of. So, hey, wouldn't you like to have vibrant health and energy and live a pain-free life?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Well, then stay tuned. Really, from my experience, from my own personal experience, and from working with people for 10 years in this subject, it's really a matter of keeping an open mind, let go of false beliefs, and let go of self-imposed limitation, because that is what is going to keep you stuck in your parking spot, because, you know, you don't know what you don't know. One of our students one time said that after he went through our program. He said, you know, you really don't know what you don't know. Have you experienced that, Tyson?
Oh, absolutely. When I was approached about the possibility of doing an interview series with you, which, by the way, we encourage everybody who's listening to this webinar to follow through, and that's Esoteric Principles of Bodybuilding, which is really the esoteric background to what you're learning here today, and we'll be covering some of it, but that's a 13-part show, which is around close to 12 hours of study that you can do in greater detail. But before I did that with you, why would I want to go to the gym? I haven't been to the gym since I was 21. When I was at the gym at 21, I used to just warm up with 125 pounds. So, it was really something that was important to me, but I haven't been in the gym since then. So why would I want to go back to the gym? And, with your encouragement and Dr. Fitness USA, I've been back in the gym since March, and I got to say, it's really quite amazing. Did it happen overnight? Absolutely not. I mean, it took a time to even get used to being in the gym with all these younger people. Luckily, in my gym, there's somebody 85 who's older than me who's there and is an inspiration. But yeah, it's a different mindset. The gym that I went to when I was 21 does not look anything like the gym that I'm in now. Much more advanced equipment, much more sophistication, knowing and having a program. Not just, like, we really just fooled around. I mean, that's what we did. We had no program. I did have a buddy who was a bodybuilder, so we had some sort of program, but it was not consistent. We didn't keep any records. So the program that you are helping deliver really is, you don't know what you don't know until you go and try this program in the gym and start to experience results.
Yeah, and it's actually quite simple, because when you think about it, it's really 3 simple steps that make the foundation of the program. And the first one is 20 to 50% stronger. The yin-yang of strength training, managing and balancing male-female energy in your workouts. And then, of course, posture and correcting muscular imbalances to achieve a pain-free life. So let's start with step 1, shall we?
Absolutely.
Okay, 20 to 50% stronger. So Dr. Fitness USA always says building strength is like raising capital before starting a business. Without capital, you're likely to be out of business quickly. So building strength is like insurance, okay? When you're strong, everything is easier. Everything you do on daily basis that becomes easier. Grocery shopping, laundry, and also when you are strong from the inside out, you also know your boundary and you have that connection with your body. So a lot of times when we talk about strength training, people say, oh, I don't want any muscles. That's like probably one of the most common thing people tell us. So I want to just take a few minutes here to talk about the role of the muscles, because you do want muscles on your body, folks. We have different muscle types in the body. We have the skeletal muscle. Those are the ones that we know. They're the ones that keep your body up, that hold your posture up, that allow you to do things, mobility, stability, balance. There are also those who boost your immune system. But we have other muscles too. We have the cardiac muscles and the smooth muscles. These are called the involuntary muscles because they work on your heart, respiration, digestion, urination, and vision. But what happens is all the muscles work together. So I give you an example. When you run, it's the skeletal muscle. Your heart pumps harder, which is the cardiac muscles, and causes you to breathe heavier, the smooth muscles. So everything works together. So when you start losing muscle mass, by the way, this happens as of age 30, everything gets affected, your heart, your internal organs. So losing muscle mass is a real problem. But now I can hear people say, oh, but I have muscles, I work out, I do yoga, I run. Let's ask our audience, which is the number one scientifically proven activity to build and maintain strength? So can we have people raise their hand in the chat to vote?
Absolutely. So raise your hand in the chat and let us know that what do you think is the number one scientifically proved activity to build and maintain strength? Is it yoga?
Is it yoga? Is it
Aerobic?
aerobic? Or is it
Strength training.
So what do you have an average poll of what people answered?
Yeah, I think people would generally think, at least when I look at what people do in iGym, that I would think that they would think that aerobics is one of the most important. The amount of people on the treadmill running like crazy, I would think that that's what they think is important, and then they feel that they need to be exhausted at the end of that, no pain, no gain.
Exactly. Well, I can tell you that we hear this all the time. Most people think yoga is actually a muscle building activity. They go, yeah, but I'm holding my body weight, so I'm building muscles. Strength training is the number one scientifically proven activity to build muscle mass. And that is proven because we use different muscle fibers when we do different activities. And when you do yoga or aerobics, for example, you're going to actually use the slow twitch muscle fibers. And in order to build muscles, you need to use the fast twitch muscle fiber. In order to build muscle mass, you need to do strength training. So if you're not building muscle mass, you're losing muscle mass. And that happens as of age 30. So as of age 30, if you're just doing yoga, just doing aerobics, then you're losing muscle mass. And what happens when you lose muscle mass? You start increasing bone loss, which causes osteoporosis. Your metabolism is going to slow down. You're going to have weight gain. Your posture is going to start shifting, and you're going to start having muscular imbalances, because when your posture shifts, then you have to compensate when you do things, which causes, of course, all types of pain. It causes hormonal imbalances, also decreased testosterone and HGH production, human growth hormones production, and basically your quality of life goes down tremendously. And for men, it is very much the same. With the decrease of testosterone, the men will start incurring prostate problems, erectile dysfunction, osteoporosis. So guys, you don't want to have that happen. So what do we do to work towards achieving that pain-free life? The first thing that we have to do is start addressing the cause of the problem, which is that muscle loss or that decrease of strength that people have when they come to see us. So our number one thing that we do, we increase a person's strength 20 to 50%. But we do it in a very, very specific way where we ground the body. Okay, so it's not muscle to muscle activity where, oh, I'm building my biceps, so I'm stronger, so now I'm going to have a pain-free life. It doesn't work like this. It's like from the inside out, from the ground up, first grounding the body. When you do that, it quiets the mind, so you have stress reduction. Okay, you become centered, focused, in charge. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I can say that I have experienced that by going to the gym myself.
On the Dr. Fitness USA system, right?
Absolutely. That's the only system. The first time I went there, I was saying, yeah, I'm part of this program. They said, well, we don't know about that program. Let's get you started. And so they got me started on the treadmill and doing this. And then 1 hour later, my wife comes to pick me up, and he says to my wife, I think we've worn him out. He's pretty exhausted. And I left the gym and I thought, why am I doing this? This does not feel good at all. Which I have to say is not how I feel after being on the Dr. Fitness USA program. I'm in and out in 45 minutes. I've got lots of vitality, strength, and endurance to get on with the rest of the day. I'm not exhausted. In fact, I have more energy.
Yeah, and that's because of these components. You see, it's very precise, the system, and it's very focused, and it's a sequence of exercise that we do. It's very precise. And one of the things that it also does, because of that strength increase, it strengthens the nervous system. But why do we need to strengthen the nervous system? Because when you're on overload, the nervous system will blow a fuse. It's very much so like the electrical wiring in your house. If it's outdated and you plug in too many appliances, then you're going to blow a fuse. And that's what happens, because the nervous system is actually the communication center of the body, and it controls everything. It controls your thoughts, movements, feelings, and it controls the healing of the body. So when you have that brain muscle connection, you are grounded, and you have that quiet mind that starts to happen, then you have a place, a safe place where the body can now heal.
Let me jump in here, and I just had an insight that I didn't quite understand before, and that is, when you meditate, you're meditating to learn how to quiet the mind and ground the mind, so to speak, to bring it to quietude. But strength training is actually grounding the body. So the two in combination with each other is a different but holistic perspective of what grounding is about. It's not just a mental grounding through meditation and quieting the mind. It's also strength training, which helps ground the body by taking excess energy out of the body through actual physical exercise. So it's important to understand this from an esoteric point of view, that both of those are required, or both of those enhance each other. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. That's a great analogy, and this is so profound. When I realized that was happening, it was really a aha moment for me, because I am a meditator, and I spent 30 years meditating, and we always say ground the body, quiet the mind. But in our program, we actually get to do this physically with weights. So it's an added component. Mm-hmm. Where we have the capability to strengthen it physically beyond meditation alone.
Yeah, and just to comment about that, I mean, my nickname is the Energy Detective, and I teach people how to, ground and build their electrical system, their ecosystem, so to speak, their bioenergy system, and strengthen it, and also how to learn how to ground. And there's a psychological, spiritual way of doing that, and dealing with stress and unresolved emotional trauma and those sorts of things, core fractures, that comes from the way that we live our lives. But to add this component to it is vitally important, where you're learning how to take back your personal power and stand in your truth, which is from the physical point of view, just not from the emotional, mental point of view. So because we're multidimensional, and we have, the physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and psychological, we want to bring all of those systems together in whatever procedure or wellness plan we create for ourselves. And so when you combine learning how to ground yourself and deal with your emotions through Take Back Your Personal Power program, and going to the gym and taking down your personal power by strengthening your muscles, then you have a holistic approach for the mind, body, and the spirit.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and that brings us to this next slide. Most people actually live outside of their bodies. So they wonder why they can't heal or why they always have pain. In order to heal, you have to be inside of your body. When you're outside of your body, you're in your head, talking head, like a head, everything in the head. You're disconnected and you are unfocused. And multitasking is a huge thing. People actually are proud of their ability to multitask, and it's one of the things that keeps you completely out of focus and ungrounded. Again, to heal the body, you must live inside the body, and I know you have some experience with that because you work with energy. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my nickname is the Energy Detective, and as a master dowser, I've discovered that 75% or more of the worldwide population is losing 50% or more of their bioenergy. So what do I mean? It means when you get up in the morning, doesn't matter what sort of exercise you're doing, water you're drinking, food you're eating, uh, because of unresolved trauma, emotions, electromagnetic energies, outside influences, all of those factors, most people are losing 50% of their energy. So for most clients in that particular situation, I say, how would you like to wake up in the morning and have twice as much energy to get you through the day? And I have to say, managing your energy system, it parallels. That's the energy body, right? This is
Yes.
the physical body. And when you put the two together, you really have a holistic approach to learning how to ground, take back your personal power, stand in your truth no matter what, and become a sovereign human being. So the two programs really, really nest together.
Yes, I guarantee you that when you lift weight, um, it's very hard to do it if you're not in your body. Stephen always says the weight is going to go up or is going to go down. And at that moment when you got to lift the weight, you cannot not be in your body, or you won't be able to lift it. So it's a really, really wonderful practice. So one of the things that we do is building a strong foundation for the body. To me, I used to teach early education in the schools, and so I like the little children's story. But this one reminds me of actually what we do, because it's the little piggy that's going to build a house of brick. When the weather comes, then the house is going to stand. And the weather, what is the weather for us? It's a fall we might have, it's an accident. Things happen in life, and when we get hit or something happens, if you don't have that foundation, that strength as a foundation, then it's very, very difficult to recover. This is, for example, a student of ours who is now almost 15 years on the program. And a few years back, he had a very, very severe fall on his bicycle. He broke his leg in 3 places. And literally, the doctor told him he would be crippled if he hadn't been in such great shape. And I had a fall. I fell off. I tripped over the curb about 3 months ago. And, 2 days later, I was at the gym, and friends of mine, they fall, they break their ankle.
Yeah, I've had 2 falls lately, one slipping in the bathroom and because a mat slipped on the bottom of the tub and smashing my leg into the side of the tub. But I healed really, really quickly. And then the second time I tripped over a stool, went flat on my face and immediately just got up, even though I really did hit with quite a whump. And I was back in the gym the day after that happened. So yeah, the recouping from a major accident and the less damage is the result of starting to be in shape. When people slip and fall and break a bone, which is usually the hip, then the diagnosis from the doctor's point of view is most people don't recover.
Exactly.
It doesn't heal.
So that's the first thing, 20 to 50% stronger. When you work with weights, it's quantifiable, so we're not making that up. When you lift 10 pounds today and next week you lift 20, there is your strength increase. So we're not making it up. And we actually record everything. and document everything. So let's go on to step 2, the yin yang, balancing male and female energy. This is a little bit of a more subtle topic, but when I will explain to you how it works, it's going to make a lot of sense. So we all know that we have male and female energy, men and women, okay? So the ideal is that we would be balanced within using these two energies throughout our life. So there are certain activities that are more male-oriented, and there are certain activities that are more female-oriented. So the left brain is male and the right brain is female. So what happens is the male brain has a smaller corpus callosum. It's the bridge between the two brains. So if you're a man and you're right-handed, because left-handed men are fall into the other category. So if you're a right-handed male, then typically you're going to think or feel one at a time. Women, we have a large corpus callosum, and so we can go back and forth. Okay, so that's where the women multitasking, feeling, thinking, and jumping back and forth. What happens is neck up, logic, thinking, competing, working, all these doing things, that's male energy. And the female energy is feeling, sexuality, exercise, like taking care of your body. That's all female. So what happens when we get a little bit older, the hormones start changing. So we have a lot of responsibility, and so we are at work, male energy. We take care of the kids, male energy, doing, right? Then we go to seminars, intellectual information, male energy. So we are like consistently running male energy. And as we grow older, we kind of lose the ability to go back and forth, okay? So now we are ungrounded, like we talked earlier. We are kind of living outside our body, and now we're out of shape. We go, oh, I'm gonna go get in shape. Let me hire a personal trainer. And there you go. You hire your personal trainers, and did you know that the fitness industry is really running on male energy? Think about it. No pain, no gain. Come on, let's do more. Competing, boot camps, CrossFit, cross training, always like confusing the body. And that's compounding the male energy. Now we are already running our whole life on male energy, and we go to be in shape, and now we're doing more male energy, and the body cannot keep up. And this is how now we are putting the nervous system more on overload, and now we can't keep up. So people wonder why they're not able to be in shape, stay in shape, sustain their fitness activities, because that's one of the reasons. So the symptoms of that is trying to be strong, trying to be perfect, trying harder, pleasing others, hurry up, and no time. Do you find that some of your clients are kind of acting like that?
Yeah, actually, I have a way in which I can look at where a person's energy is, whether it's in the physical, emotional, mental, physical, or whatever. And most women I found are living in their emotional body. So they're really not connected to their physical body at all, which means that a lot of things. One, that because they're not grounded, they can have an accident very easily. They're going to forget things. They're going to get brain fog, all sorts of different symptoms. So yes, this is really important, particularly for women, is to go to the gym and let that energy be dissipated out of their bodies.
Yeah, and find that safe place to take care of yourself, so that you don't have to be compulsive, because that's what happens when those characteristics take over. Then the person becomes compulsive, they react, they make decisions on the fly, and that might not always be the best decisions, So again, what is the solution? 20% to 50% strength increase, ground the body, strengthen the nervous system. I repeat myself, I sound like a broken record, but this is very important. And clear the neuromuscular pathways to the brain and balance the male and female energies. Clear the neuromuscular pathways to the brain. We're going to go on to this on our third point, which we will talk about proper postural alignment, because without that, then you have blockages, and then you can't have that flow and that healthy mindset either. That comes next. But first, let's see what a healthy woman might look like. She takes care of her body. That's female. Love herself first. Learns to say no, big one. Looks inside, not outside. And learn to receive more than to give. As women, we're receivers. Naturally, physiologically, we are receivers, but we lose. We're so much in the doing that we lose that, and then we wonder why we get sick. Does that make sense so far?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most women are giving, and therefore have little time to receive and wonder why they're exhausted, right?
Exactly. So let's go on to step 3, posture, allowing healing energies to flow. Forward head posture, that's a big one now because of our cell phones. Everybody's like this. And the problem is becoming earlier and earlier and earlier in age. When you realize that your head weighs 10 to 12 pounds, as much as a bowling ball, then it starts adding up to a lot of weight we're carrying on our shoulders. What do you think that does to the body? Disc herniation, joint damage, back and neck pain, long-term tissue and muscle strain. People say, oh, I have a backache. No wonder why. Pinched nerves and blood vessels, digestive issues. You know, when one thing goes off, it's like a domino effect in your life. One thing goes off, then everything starts going off. Headaches, high blood pressure, poor circulation, mood behavior, early degeneration of the spine. And these are just a few things, okay? Can be a lot, many, many more things. And of course, premature aging. When your posture is aligned, then it allows all the neurochemicals to flow to the brain, and it actually creates new neurons in the brain, which really transforms you from the inside out. And you will literally look 20 to 20 years younger very quickly. Bad posture equals old equals pain. So I have to laugh when I see women and they spend so much money on their cream because they don't want to have wrinkles or whatever, but then again they are like this. Don't you realize that age is everything? It's not only the wrinkles on the face. Besides, in our program your complexion clears. But spiritually speaking, we talk about realigning the chakras, realigning the other bodies, and as above, so below. So basically, if your chakras are out of alignment, if your posture is out of alignment, then everything is going to be out of alignment, because we are one. Even though we have different bodies, they all relate to each other. So when we work physically on realigning our posture, it works on the spiritual bodies, the etheric body, and then we start releasing emotional blockages. Because when you put the body in alignment, then things that don't belong start popping out.
The whole flow of the Kundalini or the Sushumna, which is the central channel, and the Ida and Pindali are the parasympathetic nervous systems on either side of the main flow of the energy. That's your Kundalini. That's as that increases, you have more of your chakras opening and you move towards enlightenment. So if you're not dealing with structural alignment, or if you're not dealing with blockages that come from damage, accidents, or emotional trauma, or unresolved conflict, when you start to run that Kundalini, and activate it, then it's going to be blocked. And those blockages are going to create pain. So there's a deep connection between your spiritual growth and your physical well-being.
Thank you for saying that. As a matter of fact, we did a whole entire series, 13-part series on the esoteric principles of bodybuilding, where we connect the dots between the physical and the spiritual in 13 episodes. So that's available on the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy website, the Esoteric Principles of Bodybuilding. And that is a very interesting course that talks about all that. So I love this Chinese proverb, water that flows does not rot. So think about what that means. If your posture is out of alignment, then there's blockages in the body. And where there are blockages, there's disease. And so think about it. What's happening internally can be really damaging. So how do we stop the pain? Can anybody figure it out by now? More strength training, less yoga, less aerobics, less stretching. Beware of stretching. Stretching does not cure all. As a matter of fact, too much stretching can actually damage the injury, make it worse, right? You need to strengthen the synergetic muscles around the injuries so that injury can be protected and it has a chance to heal. And you need to learn great stress management. The older we get, the less we can handle stress. Rest. A lot of times we ask people, do you work out? They look like they never step foot in a gym. And they say, oh yeah, I work out every day. If you're working out every day, something is wrong because the body needs to rest. So you need to balance rest and working out and listen to your body. In our system, you become very, very connected with your body. You get that brain muscle connection because you're grounded, you're in the body. Now you have a chance to listen to your body. I mean, think about the activities like CrossFit, running around, jumping up and down. When do you ever have time to turn within and listen to your body? You don't. And here is the key. Learn proper training practices. Get a mentor, because many health conditions, chronic pains, and injuries are caused by repetitive micro habits and are preventable and or reversible with a proper strength training system. So a lot of people go like this. Oh, my back just went out. I was taking the laundry out and my back went out. Your back did not just go out. It was little ways of how you held your body, of how you moved, or how your posture shifted that produced those muscular imbalances that over time, you do one thing and it pops, okay? So that's for repetitive overuse injuries. Of course, something can happen. You could have had an accident or something where you got hit and now you have pain. Also, when you learn to work around the injury, to build the synergetic muscles around the injury, and you learn the principles that we teach, then you have a chance to heal because you're giving your body a chance to heal. So proper strength training system, that's the ticket, okay? Because you can actually go to the gym and do things that will make actually the condition worse. One of the biggest mistakes that people do, especially when they get older, they think that they're going to do lightweight and high reps. We see it all the time. They think that is strength training. First of all, that is not strength training. That falls back in the category of aerobic and yoga that we talked earlier because of the muscle fibers that you use when you do that. And on top of it, if you have injuries, then you're only going to exacerbate the injuries. You're going to put too much stress on the tendons, the ligaments. This is really not the way to go. And we see it all the time. And the exercise sequences too. Earlier we talked about grounding the body. Okay, so we do like a leg press or something to ground the body, and then they go off and do some walking lunges or some jumping jacks or some whatever. No, think about it. You just ground the body. Why are you running around after that? So that's a huge one. And also the weight ratio between the exercises. There has to be a balance to actually build a structure balanced body. Number of sets and reps, all the ergonomics, equipment choice. We see people struggling on machines while there's a machine right next to it that is so easy to work, and people just don't know. It's educational. You need the education and bad technical form. We see that all the time. For example, and thinking you can wing it at home. I like that one. One of the main thing that we see all the time. You see where the feet are up on top, high on the board? People do that all the time. This puts a lot of strain on the knees. We want to put the feet on the bottom of the board, so we push with the butt muscles, protect the knees. And we don't do flat bench presses, not in the beginning, because there is a sense of being out of control. So we always put the bench at a certain angle. And here you can also see that the seat is also at a certain angle, because, and that's another thing that people don't know, if the seat is flat, then your butt is going to slide off and you're not going to be really grounded and protected to lift the weight. So in our system, everything matters. So the less people know, the more stubbornly they know it. We get this all the time, especially those who have a background in fitness, and they think that they know how to use the equipment. They think they know. They don't realize that this is actually very different. You can take the slow lane to aging, or you can take the fast lane to aging, and that's basically your choice. Because if you are on this webinar, then you've learned some profound things that can really reverse the aging process and get you to really achieve that pain-free life you desire and deserve. But it will take you to take a leap of faith, because maybe you are that type of person that says, oh no, it's impossible. You know, I've done personal training, I'm in the gym and I'm still in pain. How will that work? So get out of your comfort zone and try something different. If you are on this webinar, chances are what you've been doing hasn't been working, or you didn't get quite the results you wanted. So get a mentor. A mentor can really save you a lot of time, money, and energy. And as I explained, I have spent the last 10 years of my life paving the road for you and putting together those online programs. Tyson, did you have any comments or any questions up to this point before I go on?
I think it's really quite clear. You know, having been on this program since March, I can attest the fact that it's made a huge change in my life. Certainly in correcting my posture, losing weight, which is a byproduct of this, having more energy. There's so many factors that make me want to go back to the gym. And before that, if you had said, Tyson, we think you should go to the gym, I would have said, you're crazy. I haven't been in the gym since I was 21 years old. Why would I want to do that? No, thank you. But I have to say, since I've been on this program, it's made major changes in my life. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. And why not? Feel better, more fit, more energy, 15 years younger, pain-free. Sounds good to me.
This is a brand new testimonial that was put on my Facebook wall just last week by Susan Baker. She's in Northern California. 18 years ago, I embarked on the full program with Dr. Fitness USA. I'm now 69 years old of age and would not experience the level of health and strength I do if it were not for following the program Dr. Fitness USA set up for me. When I started 18 years ago, I had shoulder, neck, and back pain, and now at age 69, I'm pain-free. I have great posture as long as I continue my regular routine Dr. Fitness USA created for me. How would you like that to be you? Here is a young lady. We work with young and not so young people.
So right now I am at Gold's Gym, and I'm about to get ready started on my workout. And I am just so thankful to be in here and to be working out and to have my body feel this good. And I met this wonderful, wonderful woman named Batista, and her husband, this Dr. Fitness USA, and they helped me really figure out what my body as a woman needed to do to work out and to get the proper training and to build up the muscle that so I could do things without being in pain. I mean, I was constantly in pain. Over and over and over, I paid so much money towards the chiropractor, towards health things, towards so many things, and none of it was helping. None of it. Within the first week, I felt refreshed, and I was in shock of how refreshed I felt. And then after 3 months, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like nonstop. Now, I did stop for a little bit, as I had some, I got sick, so I did stop for a little bit, and I jumped right back in, and I noticed how my body kind of got in pain after I wasn't working out. So it was just wonderful to come back and build up my muscles, and I'm excited to continue to build them so that I can run or, do things with, my kids that I haven't done in years.
Brittany, 29 years old. She couldn't lift 5 pounds when she went to the gym the first day. In 6 weeks, that program that you want to buy today for sure, she went from leg pressing 10 pounds to leg pressing 200 pounds. Chest pressing, she couldn't even lift 1 pound. She went from chest pressing nothing to chest pressing 25 pounds dumbbells. That's your life transformation right there. This is Dr. Tan.
Sometimes you think that, nothing's gonna change you or make you better. It was, after all, my kind of like a last stop. I've tried physical therapy, 2 hours, hour and a half stretching in the morning, hour and a half stretching at night. It's only a stretch, but it doesn't make you stronger. I was supposed to have surgery too last year, and by 3 surgeons rather, and said that, if I don't cut up my shoulder, I'm gonna get it's gonna get worse and you'll be in pain. No, it is not. So I just stuck to my guns and did my thing, and now every part of the program I can use again, and I can lift things, where I couldn't before. I had to do this before to get something on the wall, and now I can just do that, no problem. And no surgery, and no splint. I was supposed to be in a splint for 8 months. So there it goes to that. And yeah, and it's very fast. You can really see it, Oh, pain, yeah. All my pain's gone. I used to take glucosamine, 1,500 milligrams, because a kinesiologist of a patient of mine told him to take this. Your knee hurts, shoulder hurts, left shoulder, neck, back, hip, you name it. I'm a dentist. If you're not a dentist, you still get those kind of issues, knee issues and stuff. Now I have no knee issue, no shoulder, nothing. And I haven't had a massage except maybe once, because I had a little car accident, and just once in almost 2 years. I used to get one regularly, at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. Acupuncture, Reiki, energy healing, whatever. I've tried all alternative medicine, homeopathic kind, and this and that, and herbs, anti-inflammatory. I was supposed to be on anti-inflammatory for more than, supposedly for my life, and until for life, prescription, anti-Cerebrex. Was supposed to be on that because it was hard to get out from your car, hard to get out from a chair when you had dinner or in a restaurant. You feel like an old lady. This program by Stephen Hersey, I know he's not an MD, but you know, it's that's why I think when somebody called him Dr. Fitness, it is.
This is Dr. Tan. In this video, she's 57 years old, I believe. And trust me, when she came to us about 4 or 5 years ago, she was not looking like that. So look and feel 15 years younger. Here you go. But we don't only work with people 20, 50 years old. This is Norma, and it's the last one I'm going to play for you. Norma is 74.
My name is Norma, and I am 74-year-old, and I'm a retired registered nurse working in the emergency room and trauma. And I have a history of right breast cancer with post-lumpectomy, chemotherapy, radiation therapy 14 years ago. And then recently I had bleeding ulcer, and I also end up having an open heart surgery for a mitral valve prolapse. And I've been doing physical therapy with some few trainers, you know, but I found out that after my big heart surgery, I needed more, like for strength, for endurance, for balance. I just felt my body, you know, feels like I should do more, you know, it's asking for more. And my friend, you know, who is a dentist, referred me to Dr. Fitness, you know, and ever since I've been working with them, you know, for, oh my goodness, more than 3 months now, and I feel stronger. I do have problem with my knees, but I don't feel any pain while I'm doing my exercises properly, you know, and my sleep pattern seems to be improving. My blood sugar level seems to be better, you know, and I feel stronger actually. Yeah, I like lifting those weights. But there's a movement, you know, that the body likes. And otherwise I go 3 days a week, sometimes more than that actually. So because your body will, like I said, I keep on saying it, but it seems like the body wants to go and do something more, you know, and even if I felt like I was tired or something, you feel so much better after that.
So a mentor can really save you a lot of time, money, and energy. And as I explained, I have spent the last 10 years of my life paving the road for you and putting together those online programs. Now, when you get the online program, you will get everything you need to be successful on a very own dashboard that you will access with a password and a username. Everything is delivered in videos, in slides. You'll have one-on-one mentoring with weekly Zoom call so that you can be accountable and stay on track. The programs are educational, so you can sustain the results long term, and you will never need a personal trainer. You will be able to train anywhere in the world on your own. A lot of times people ask, don't personal trainers do that? Personal trainers typically dilute their session between cardio and stretching and a little bit of strength training. And in reality, they try to keep you confused so that you're going to have to keep coming back. So that will make you codependent, which is not cost effective in long term. They work muscle group, which can very easily put your body out of balance. And it's always based on performance. Come on, let's do more, no pain, no gain, which adds stress to your life. You don't want that. And in long term, it's non-sustainable. Now let's look at Dr. Fitness USA. We have an educational process that will give you independence and sustainability. We work on ergonomics, injury prevention, and rehabilitation, postural alignment, and correcting muscular imbalances. That's how you achieve a pain-free life and produces a balanced physique. We work on stress management. In long term, that is cost effective. because I have news for you. I'm going to give you a little bit of reality. In fact, it takes 400 hours to secure structural alignment, 400 hours. So if you worked out 3 times per week for 1 hour, it will take you 2.5 years to achieve those 400 hours. In our system, we give you the educations to get to that 400 hours in months, sometimes weeks. Now let's look at a personal trainer. You will have a third of your hours stretching, a third doing aerobics, and a third strength training. So to achieve those 400 hours, it will take you 7.5 years. If you hire a qualified trainer that knows about structural alignment, muscular imbalances, and all those specialty things that we're talking about, then he will charge you about $100 to $150 per hour. It will take you 7 years to achieve those 400 hours, which will equal about $180,000 that you will have spent to get to those 400 hours. We are not going to charge you $180,000. So what we would really like to ask you today, we would like to invite you to invest in yourself so that you can be stronger, look and feel younger, and be pain-free. So we invite you to invest in yourself. Click the link below to take advantage of a free discovery session where we can really get to know you and help you to choose the right program so we can ensure your success. So click the link below for your free discovery session, and we're looking forward to seeing you and talking to you.
Well, thank you ever so much. That was a lot of good information, and hopefully everybody that's listening to this will take advantage of this unique opportunity.
Bye for now.